Let's go to Bayelsa State. Earlier on, I did say that INEC is done a mock accreditation exercise yesterday in preparations for the November 11 election. And though a lot of Nigerians believe that the damaged reputation of the commission in the general elections of February, March might be repaired somehow, if possible, if INEC does everything right in terms of logistics and transmission of the result. Obo Efanga is a rec of Bayelsa State. He joins us virtually from Yenagua. Thank you so much, Mr. Efanga, for joining us tonight. Let's clarify first and foremost. There was something that the INEC chairman said, and making reference to whether or not you were wrongly reported for what you have said about transmission of results. That is a very sensitive matter. In the Bayelsa, Kogi, and Imo elections, will INEC transmit results through the IReV and electronically?
Thank you very much. The IReV has come to stay, just like the BVAS has come to stay. IReV was first used in 2020 by INEC. It is the INEC results viewing portal. It's a portal where polling unit results are uploaded. Photographs of the polling unit results are uploaded. INEC has been doing that since 2020 and will continue to do that.
All right, so you're confirming to us now that whatever you were quoted to have said that INEC is not going to transmit through IReV is untrue, and you're clearing the air now that INEC will indeed, in those three elections, in those three states, on November 11, INEC will transmit via IReV. So is IReV portal ready to go now?
Yes, it is ready to go. Yesterday, when we had the mock accreditation, we used the IReV portal to upload information from the mock accreditation. In the locations we did the accreditation, people came, got accredited. That information was recorded on the BVAS. That's a bimodal voter accreditation system device. And at the end of it, we also had a mock result sheet, which we used the BVAS to take a photograph of, and that was uploaded on the IReV.
There are those who will also say that some of your officials, the ad hoc officials INEC is using, INEC perhaps are not giving what they call a proper training, because if you look at the general elections of February, the kind of image that was transmitted into the IReV were unbecoming. There's some of them that are totally unreadable. Some of them you cannot even access. Some of them you cannot even read what exactly are in those images posted on the IReV portal. Is there a retraining, or what efforts are you making? Because there are those who will believe that INEC is cutting corners by these kind of actions.
Well, for every of our elections, you always have fresh trainings and retrainings. So the people who are going to be involved in this election would undergo a series of trainings at different levels. We even have training the night before the election also, apart from the previous training they would have received. And so we don't expect that there will be much of a problem with the use of the BVAS in this election. We are working towards that. And it's also one of the reasons that we did the mock accreditation yesterday across the three states in some selected polling units. And the report we've got from those mock accreditation shows that we are good to go.
All right. Now, INEC came out on this very program. INEC told Channels Television that there were glitches, and that was the reason why INEC could not post some results on, the IReV did not work optimally for the presidential election. Have you identified the glitches? Because will it make sense if INEC is going into another round of elections and those glitches have not been identified? You are a resident electoral commissioner. What do you understand or know about these glitches, technically speaking? What can you tell us about these glitches?
Okay, so let me remind you that after the presidential election where the challenges occurred, even in that same presidential election, those results were eventually uploaded. And the elections that happened after then, the governorship and the House of Assembly elections, we didn't have any such situation. And also yesterday, like I said, we did the test run again of the system, and it worked very well. So I would look forward to having an election that is well conducted, and the results are uploaded to the portal, and winners emerge through this process. So I do not entertain any fears concerning that.
No, but we want to learn from what has happened, the errors of the past. Can Nigerians know? You are very senior officials of INEC. What are these glitches? We understand that you may have fixed them ahead of the November 11 elections, but can we know what you know as per the glitches that really happened? The taxpayers, do they have the right and the privilege to know tonight what the glitches are and how you have corrected them?
Well, what I know is that there were problems with the uploading that evening after the elections, and eventually they were corrected, and the results were eventually uploaded later that night and subsequently. And the elections we conducted after then, we didn't have that problem, and the results were uploaded. And like I said yesterday, we also had the test run, and the results were uploaded. So I would rather focus on what we need to do as INEC going forward to conduct the election and ensure that those results are uploaded. I don't, like I said earlier, I do not envisage such problem happening again.
You know, when it comes to election, integrity of the process it also helps the psychology of the voters in terms of turning out and also even entrusting that, I mean, giving the trust into the umpire to do its job, of course, helping security and safeguarding the process. Is INEC aware of what may have been largely an irreparable damage to its reputation, and what is the commission doing to fix this?
Well, what we have to do is to conduct elections the way they are meant to be conducted, and that's what we'll continue to do. And that's what we'll do in this next election. And when we do that and people see the process that is followed through and the outcome, I'm sure that people would believe more and more with INEC. There's been improvements in the processes of election in this country from time past. If we look at how elections have been conducted in the past, how winners have emerged in the past, I think that there's a great improvement. One of the improvements we must acknowledge is the fact that the actual number of votes recorded reflect what actually happened on election day. Gone are those days where you could have accreditation and then you have votes more than what was accredited or how many people actually turned up at the polling units. That's why the figures from the election seem to be lower these days than what we used to have in the past. And that is simply because the process we've used is such that you are not going to be able to vote because a bimodal voter accreditation system device would not accredit you.
All right, let me, I don't envy you at all right now, Mr. Fanga, because you were once ranking in Edo State, in Rivers State, and now in Bayelsa State. These are not the easiest places to conduct elections. Anybody who knows Oboy Fanga, who was a civil society person before coming into INEC, we know that he's almost a perfect gentleman, but why would he be thrown into some of the most difficult places to conduct elections? That's why I say I do not envy you. But Oboy, if you can tell us, Timmy Silva, the APC candidate, the court as the Federal Court in Abuja disqualified him. As far as we know, does the APC have a candidate for going into this election at the moment?
Sorry, I didn't hear that part very well.
I was asking about Timmy Silva, the candidate of the APC in Bayelsa State. He was disqualified earlier in the week. And as we know, as of now, does the APC have a governorship election, a governorship candidate on the ballot as of now, as of today?
Well, that's a question that should be answered by the headquarters of INEC. The commission had published the list of candidates and parties for this election. And as of this moment, and I'm not aware that there has been a change in that list of candidates and political parties in the election. When and if such a change occurs, then we will know. But of this moment, I'm not aware that there has been any change in the list of candidates and political parties in the election.
So you're not aware of the court case which disqualified Timothy Silva as a rec on that state? You have not been officially communicated to?
No, I don't have any official communication to that effect.
Ekeremo, Southern Ijaw, Brass, these are some local government areas in Bayelsa State that has caused election to be inconclusive. Are you prepared for the worst case scenario coming from that election, Obo?
Yes, we are prepared for the worst case scenario, and we are also prepared for the best case scenario.
And what could be the worst case scenario? Could it be logistics? Because that is being a major problem for INEC. Because sometimes I've covered elections severally in Bayelsa State, traveled underwater for several minutes, and I do know that a lot of the times it takes, in fact, at midday, materials are not left the shores of Yanagua to some of these areas. What have you done to ensure that this does not replay itself?
Well, we are improving on that. We've had meetings and strategies on this. We are working with relevant stakeholders to ensure that we deploy materials early enough to all the locations. And in the last election conducted here, the House of Assembly election conducted, the problems that they had in the presidential election and the National Assembly election, they were able to contend that in the House of Assembly election. So I think that we can only improve on that.
All right. Obo Efanga is the resident electoral commissioner for INEC in Bayelsa State. I wish you the very best as Channel Television is keeping tabs on what is happening across the 3 states for the November 11 governorship election. Thank you so much, Mr. Efanga, for your time tonight.
Thank you very much, Sharon.
I appreciate it. Let's get back to our Lagos studio with Tokunbo Wahab, the Commissioner for Environment in Lagos, on our closing moment.